Hello, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Power of the Pen. I am Lawana Bradford, and I am so excited to share with you this amazing platform that is designed to help spotlight the voices, the message, the written word of women from around the world, and also men who have written words to inspire and uplift and help us as women expand and elevate to the highest versions of ourselves. We feature authors from all walks of life in all genres. And today I have a very special guest, which I will introduce in a moment, who is coming from a resource end. So not only is she an amazing author and speaker and trainer and teacher in her own right, but she comes to bring in those critical resources that we need when we're looking to expand our voice. And sometimes we don't know where to start, or maybe we've been in it, but we haven't been doing it just the right way to create the influence and impact that we want, and ultimately the income. So before we introduce our amazing guest, I want to show you a video that introduces her better than my words ever could. Hello, Pastor Paulette. How's it going?
Hello, Lawana. It's going very well. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for being on Power of the Pen. I know you and I have gone back and forth for probably about 6 months, but now we're making it happen. So that's a good thing, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Good, good. Well, today I want our authors to, and aspiring authors, to lean in as we discuss being a part of a collaborative book. I mean, your video basically said everything about you and your brilliance and in the space that you occupy in this writing world. And often, Pastor Paulette, individuals, they have the writing, I want to write a book, or I want to be a part of a collaborative, and it's that bucket list, right? But they don't know like what else to do, or even those that are saying, well, I see all these collaborations happening. How do I become a part of that? And not only are you a multi-time best-selling author, you're an award-winning author, you're a certified storyteller. And before I explain some more things about you, can you tell us what is a certified storyteller? And some of us of African American ancestry, where those are known as your Giros, or again those ancient ones, right? Carrying those life lived experiences and creating an indelible impression, so the world doesn't forget. The world remembers that you existed. So tell us, from that certification standpoint, how do you help those of us who want to tell our story?
Yeah. So once again, thank you for having me on. So a certified story coach, or book coach, as some people may know it as well, is one who really helps aspiring authors, emerging authors tell their stories in print form, ebook form, audio form. And so what I do is I bring authors alongside of me and I coach them in that area of creativity, identifying their story, how to outline their story, how to put their story together, and then also the steps to publication. And so being a story coach is something that I absolutely love doing, something that I was called to do, but also being able to make an impact with the world and then share my story, and then also being able to share other people's stories as well.
I love that. My father is a storyteller, and I truly believe it's a gift, because it's a story. It's the way it's woven that
Hmm.
creates an impression and creates an impact. So we can all share something, but when someone is really has that label of storyteller, it means they command an audience.
Mm.
Somehow there's something in the voice, the way the words are woven, that just compels you to want to listen and lean in. And that's I think it's a beautiful gifting. And the fact that you're able to take that gift and now translate it to the lane of coaching is so critical, because many of us have great experiences. I think every life lived
Hmm.
is a wonderful story, but we don't know how to tell it, right? In a way that resonates for not only us, right? We want to be able to be as transparent as possible, but we want to also be compelling to attract those who to want to listen.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It's really you have to learn how to just use it as an art form to be able to, share that story that is very impactful, one that leaves the reader with a great experience, one that leaves the reader with that moment, that aha moment as they're reading the book. And so, it comes with, more than just writing one book. It comes as you gradually and continually, learn and craft your story and craft your ability to write. The thing about storytelling is, like you said, everybody has a story. You just have to decide on, is that story you want to write? Is that something you want to publish? And so being able to identify the difference between the two, and then learning how to do, if it's publishing, learning how to do publishing as well. But really crafting your story, telling your story, and really organizing it in a way in which the reader are going to leave that story very impactful, very transformed, giving the reader solutions to whatever it is, problems that they may be going through as well. And so I think it's, as you mentioned, people are called to this. This isn't something that just, I woke up one day and said, I'm going to be a storyteller. No, I got here through pain and sorrows and a lot of adversities, pushed the purpose out of me. And that's really, how I started. And that's what I share with people when it comes to storytelling.
I love what you said. The pain pushed the purpose out of you. Sounds like a book title. And I love that you were able to, and to those that are listening, we are here with Pastor Paulette Harper, and she is a resource for those of you who are authors, aspiring authors, know someone who's writing and wants to be a part of collaborations or just even expand their platform in writing, that she provides you with the tools, the techniques, and the lens to dig deep, understand, I think, your why you're writing,
Mhm.
the story that you want to tell, the audience you want to reach, right? And the impact you ultimately want to have.
Yeah, definitely. All of that. Because all of that, really makes a good storyteller, knowing what your why is, knowing the reasons why you want to share your story, because everybody has many different reasons. And depending on the reason, it's going to determine really the outcome and the results that you're looking for. And then once you find what your why is, it really drives you to finally finishing it and getting it done, because your reason should be beyond yourself. It should be something bigger than yourself. Just, you want to write a book. Why? What are the reasons that you want to pen this story that you want the world to know about? Because that's really going to not only bring legacy to you, but it's really going to make an impact to the readers and to the world in which you want to make a change and a transformation for them as they read your story.
Pastor Paulette, what do you say to someone who's listening who wants to write, but they don't have the ability? Well, I mean, let me not say everyone has the ability. They don't have the skill sets that they feel needed to write. Maybe writing isn't their greatest strength. So,
Mhm.
what would you tell them, or do you offer ghostwriting services?
Well, I don't offer ghostwriting services, but what I do as a coach is Depending on the level of, as they, when they come to me, if they are writing for the very first time or they don't have a manuscript, I help them through that process of outlining their story and getting clarity on the story that they want to write. And, writing a book isn't a criteria, isn't that they have to, know very much about writing or have a great skill set in writing. It's the ability to articulate and share your story and write your story. And what happens in the process is that you hire editors that are going to make your story pop. They're going to clean your story up. They're going to make it shine so that when you finish writing your book and the editors come in and they edit it to a way that is going to make the author look really good. And so you have to think about all those different facets of, when you're deciding to write your book and make sure that you don't miss out or you don't alleviate and omit those necessary parts of your book process. And that is, the editing piece of it. So, anybody can write a book. You just have to determine, do you want to write one? Do you want to publish it? And are you willing to make the sacrifices to make your story look really great? And that is hiring an editor.
Speaking of an editor, so this is, I know many have a concern about, if I have an editor, as you said, this editor is going to make that story sing, right? Make it pop. But will it pop in such a way that my voice, my authentic expression is lost and it suddenly becomes someone else's style, someone else's message?
No, I think a gifted editor knows that the storyline belongs to the author, and that's their experiences and that's their story. And so the thing about finding an editor is your editor is going to check for the grammar, content. I mean, line development, content line development. They're going to check to make sure that your story is flowing. They're, going to make sure that you haven't, have run-on sentences, that if it's a storyline, chapter or whatnot, they're going to make sure that your storyline is following the line, the storyline, where it's, dates and whatnot, if you're using that. And so I think that a misconception is the fact that some authors think that their voice is going to get lost in the edits. No, on the contrary, your voice is going to be amplified to a way in which you wouldn't even think, oh man, that's my story, because that's what the editors are supposed to do.
Now, here's a question for you, because you're coming from, a different lens. So that person who's a novice, how do they find that right editor or publisher, or you're also classify yourself as a literary strategist who they can trust to take this precious message or story that they have and translate it in a way that it's not lost in translation?
Yeah. Yeah. So, one of the things that I do as a coach and as a literary specialist is really to coach the author along this journey of publishing. And so when they, hire me to help them through this process, it's me really showing them how to map out the story that they want to write. I work with a lot of nonfiction authors, and so these are true, authentic stories, transformational stories, and so when they hire me, I'm showing them how to outline their story so that they are really going to be writing the story that they want readers to know. They're going to be writing in a way in which they are comfortable in sharing this particular experience in their lives. And then I have a team of editors that I've been, working with for years. I have a graphic designer who I've been working with for years. And if people are looking for resources, I mean, you definitely put a message out on social media asking for, an editor or a graphic designer, whatever source that you need. But also, look for someone who has references, ask for references, look for someone who has done quality books before. You can go online and do that on Amazon. You can ask them to refer you to other, resources and whatnot. So there's a way in which you can confirm and validate the editor or the other services you're going to be needing, there's ways to do it so that you're not feeling like you're getting burnt, you're getting ripped off. But because there are people that will do that, but I really believe that if you find you someone that you could, get some references for, and then also, find books that they've already done with other authors, just ask.
I think that that's so important. Sometimes we get so excited, right, with the new shiny object that we just jump and we
Yeah.
don't have those critical conversations. We don't ask those pertinent questions to help us make the best decision for ourselves. And what I like that you offer, Pastor Paulette, is that end to end. So it's almost this one stop shop
Yeah.
where you take the person from the most infancy of stages to where they are now a published author doing book tours.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I think it's really important that, when my clients come to me, that I provide them the resources that they're going to need. I give them the options, if they want to, hire an editor that, I haven't that I don't know, I don't recommend, then, that's totally up to them because there's many editors and graphic designers, formatters out there that they may know, but I have them as a resource, and they could, just use my resources. But if they choose to use, then that's totally fine too. It's up to them. But the difference is, when they do that, I don't have as much of a control over
Mm.
how other people will use their books, use their services. I don't have control like that, and so you just have to do the extra. Legwork when it comes to finding out and making sure that the people that you use are really legit, they're really trustworthy, they really have they you could find information out about them, they have recommendations from other authors as well, and so there's a way to do it that you don't feel like you're being ripped off. And so I just try to make it a little bit easier when people come to me that, hey, I have an editor for you, you can work through her, with her. I have a graphic designer. These are people I've worked with for years. So, when you come to me, I just want to give you that resource as well. So that's one less burden and stress that you have as an author.
Now, the one thing with collaborative books, it allows individuals to get their feet wet, but also I think where some authors don't realize the value in the lesson is the bigger why that collaboration exists, right? So it taps taps you into something far greater and broader reaching. And how do you help individuals to understand that when they come to you? Because I know you have an upcoming book called When Queens Rise: Stories of Women Rising to the Top. So how can that author who wants to be a part of this collaborative take it to the next level? Take that broader message that you, as the collaborator, are trying to bring to the world.
Yeah, the book collaborations are an amazing, amazing opportunity for emerging authors and even authors who've written books before. When you are collaborating with a group of other women and men, it's not just your solo book. And so you have all these other people who are part of the marketing, they're part of, building the branding and the things that come along with book collaborations. And a person can be involved in a book collaboration, and it's more than just writing a chapter. It's the results that you're going to get, it's the transformation that you're going to receive in that process of sharing your story and seeing it published, seeing that you can also be a best-selling author as well. But it's also carrying it a little bit further. It's going beyond just your book, just beyond that chapter. It's being on stages, it's being on those stages in which you can really amplify your voice, you can share your story more with another a different wider range of readers and listeners. And so you be on stages, and so there's many facets that you could extend from that. You could become a coach or an entrepreneur, or you can spring from that and write your own solo book. So it's really about collaborating with a group of men and women who are on the same mission and goal, and that's to spread this message about whatever the topic of that um, you know that collaboration is, whatever the title is, but then taking it a little bit further and creating other opportunities for yourself. Some of the authors that have been in my previous books, they have been in newspapers. They have, done some great collaboration book signings. They've been traveling. And so you can, take it as far as you want to take it, and definitely go beyond just writing your chapter and beyond the book, but just realizing that there's so many other opportunities for you to, be part of a collaboration, because it extends far further than just you.
I like that. And basically, for those of you that are still, kind of scratching your head and have this question mark, collaboration puts the teamwork in authorship. And think about it, we can go far by ourselves, but farther together collectively is power. And
Yeah.
and I think the key is having that collaborator, such as yourself, to be able to explain the why this book even exists, right?
Yeah, yeah, and that's so important because, whatever story or book that an author is participating in, and they have to be able to identify with what the storyline is, the theme of the story, and being able to write their story to fit that particular theme. And then, you mentioned about how powerful collaboration is. It really is powerful because instead of you being the solo person and you being the primary source of marketing and promoting your book, you have 10, 15 other people who are marketing this particular book, and so they're marketing everyone, not just their story. They're promoting all the authors in the book, and I think that there's power in collaboration. And I think because there's so many opportunities to do it and be part of them, it just really adds, credibility to you as an author. It distinguishes you from and your voice from someone else. It makes you, it can build your brand, your authorship. So there's many ways and there's many reasons to do them. And for me, it's really about the transformation that the author is going to receive and the experience I want them to have when they do a book collaboration with me.
Pastor Paulette, do you have a specific niche or client profile that you look at, or do you do all books for anyone?
Yeah, so when I'm coaching, I do my niche is nonfiction. Most of them are first time authors. And so it's nonfiction books. These are transformational stories, personal stories, subject matter books. And so most of my clients have, written stories about something that has transpired in their very own lives and that they want to share. And so when when they come to me, I make sure that their storyline really does fit my values, and how I can really serve them better is to make sure that whatever they are conveying in their story, it really does match their experiences and their, the storyline is really resonating not only with what they're writing, but me as the coach, I have to make sure that it really does line up with me and wanting to really help them and because I do more than just the coaching piece, I help promote them as well. So I have to make sure that it's something that I want to promote. It's something that I want to put my name on, and it's an author that I really want to push and help them build their platform off of my platform.
Now, in the promotion, do you, as a collaborator, maintain all copyrights, or do you release the copyright of their particular contribution back to the author?
Yeah, so the book is copywritten under my publishing name as a collective work, as a collective work. but each of the co-authors own the copyrights to their story, and so they can, take their story, and they, if they want to, they can put it in another book if they so desire. They can take their book and they can create an ebook out of it, and so it belongs to them. This is their story, but they just give me permission to write their particular story in my book.
Thanks for explaining that, because I know a lot of people wonder, well, if I'm going to be in this collaborative book, does that mean that I've given all rights to this person and I don't know, I have no autonomy anymore
Mhm.
to my own work. Now let's talk money, because many authors, they're used to seeing all the New York Times bestsellers and they think that I can make that type of money. And it's possible. We're not saying it's not. But one of the things that you talk about is not expecting to get rich off of a collaboration. But let's talk about how you can use it. As you spoke about it a little bit earlier in this conversation, but I'd like you to dig a little bit deeper how they can use the collaboration to springboard into other avenues that may be income producing for them.
Yeah, so yeah, the book collaboration and even a solo book is the book. I call it a business card to get you more speaking gigs, speaking opportunities, to really open the door for you just by writing a book. And so from there, the money is in the speaking. The money is in creating a business. The money is in uh, being a consultant or a coach. The money really is in films. It's in creating all these other opportunities that presents itself, and then you deciding is this the avenue that you want to take. And so as you write your book and you be in a book collaboration, or you do your own solo book, you don't want to just stop there. You want to go ahead and build your brand. And when you find stages and opportunity to go and speak on, and as you speak more, then you'll be able to, make a demand on your story, meaning that people will pay you to speak on their stages, especially if you have shown them that you have influence, you have shown them that you have the experience, you have the gifting, you have the qualification, and that your story is going to resonate with their audience, and that your story is going to bring a solution and benefit their audience. And so you can make money from different speaking opportunities, and then also think about starting a business from your book, and starting a business from your collaboration that you've done, because you're writing a story based on the fact that you're an expert in that particular experience. um, and you take your experiences and then you begin to develop that, and then you'll find that there'll be people who will come ask you to help them in whatever expertise that you have, and you'll be able to not only provide that service, but also set a pricing up where people come to you, and there's a cost for your experiences, your knowledge, your expertise, and you can you can charge a premium for that.
And with your coaching, you help them understand the business side of it, and even pricing, because, and I'll just speak to us as women, sometimes we underprice ourselves, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I think a lot of that, and I'd like to get your take on this, Pastor Paulette. I think a lot of that has to do with this internal fear that maybe you feel like you're not worthy, maybe there's going to be some rejection, but if you're bringing value and
Mhm.
you're competitively priced, what's wrong with asking? The right people, I believe, will be okay with the price because they'll see
Yeah.
the value. The value is what sells, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you are absolutely correct with that. Yes. And yeah, I ask my clients, what is their why? Because once they write their book, what is it that they want to do next with it? It just can't be I wrote a book and it just stops there. No, where do you want to take it? And so do you want to, launch your speaking career? Do you want to start building, your coaching services? What is it that you want to do beyond the book? And so, when you mentioned about pricing, I think for us, we struggle with that because we want to be able to help people, but we also want to be able to earn a living as well, especially if you're doing this as your, your mainstream of income. And so I have really learned how to, I have coaches who help me, kind of filter through when it comes to pricing my services, because it is about the transformation, it's about the value that you bring. I'm working with a client right now, and she told me, she said, Paulette, the price that you charge, she said, people will pay more than that, because the transformation that you're bringing for me to go through this process is priceless, and so when I have a client that's telling me that, I know that I'm in the right ballpark. And I also had to really kind of think about the people that say no, and it's okay, because whatever price point that you have, there'll be people that will accept it, and there'll be people that say, can I get a discount? And the answer is no, you can't, And so you have to really think about that. And once you decide on a price that you want to, set, be firm with it. And, you'll people, when people see the value of what you bring, they'll be able to afford you, because people, the truth of the matter is, people can afford whatever they want to afford. It just depends on
That's
what
right.
that is. They buy whatever it is, and so when it comes to paying for something that's starts internally first, and it works its way out, on the outside externally, then there's a cost to pay for that transformation. And so you have to decide, as a coach and a consultant, what you want to charge, and just stick with that fee.
I agree 100%. To those that are listening, we are here with Pastor Paulette Harper, and we are talking about how to be a part of collaborative books. And she has written many, many books on her own, best-selling author as well as award-winning author. She is a coach. She is a literary strategist. She is certified in helping you to transform your message to print or digitized in a way that it can be heard, so that you can create that influence and impact that you want. And I hope that those of you that are listening to the live or replay are leaning in to what she just said. You have to be willing to invest in you. If you have a story that you believe is so compelling that you just can't keep it inside, now you can go and do it solo. There's nothing wrong with that. You can go to Amazon and go to the Kindle, and they'll walk you through how to self-publish. But wouldn't it be easier to partner with someone who's been there, done that, got the t-shirt several times over, taking the headache, the hassle, the roadblocks out of your way so that you can navigate from point A to Z effectively? Doesn't that make sense? I'm just asking. Well, Pastor Paulette, we are almost out of time, and I want to turn things over to you so that you can tell the audience a little bit more about you. But before we do that, I just want to provide our ad in case some of you want to be on Power the Pen and you're wondering, how do I do that? Well, this is how. All right. Well, I'm going to take myself down and allow you to share whatever it is that you want with the audience, and definitely let them know how they can get in contact with you. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Lawana. So, those of you who are sitting on a sideline and you say you want to write a book and you see everybody else writing their stories, I want to invite you to be part of my next book collaboration, When Queens Rise. I'm looking for 20 queens who want to share their story of empowerment and inspiration, those stories that are really going to be impactful for others. for other queens who are just kind of sitting and struggling through whatever process that they may be going through. A book collaboration not only leaves a legacy, but it also launches you as a best-selling author. If if that's the focus of what you're, doing the book collaboration for. But I want to invite you to be part of the ones that I'm doing, because for me as your book coach, it's about helping you through that process of seeing the creativity that you have, pushing you to tap into the part of you that you may not know exists, showing you really how to pull those words out of your head and out of your heart and put it on paper. So I encourage you to connect with me on either my website, which is pauletteharper.com. I'm on Facebook as Pastor Paulette Harper, Twitter, IG, and Clubhouse as Paulette Harper as well. But I really do want to invite you to be part of something greater than yourself. Go beyond your book, go beyond just sitting on the sideline waiting for somebody to, nudge you along and just say, yes, I want to do this. I'm giving you permission to write your story. I'm giving you the green light to say, yeah, I can write my story, no matter how messy, how good, how ugly the story is. There is something that God wants you to say and put it in book form. And I would be so elated to be part of your process, to be your coach and help you in that process and your journey to becoming a published author.
Thank you. Thank you. So I put the information down there. When queens rise, it should be queens, plural. Women rising to the top, contact Pastor Paulette Harper. You can go to her website at pauletteharper.com or find her on Facebook, Pastor Paulette Harper, and all things social media. And ladies, just have the conversation. Like he said, this is about a win-win relationship. So meet her, find out a little bit more about this collaborative book if you're interested in being a part of something that's great and that's going to be impactful. And we know today, with all that women have been facing, and the pandemic has crippled us in ways that we didn't envision happening, women are trying to rise up again. They're trying to reestablish their footing, whether they've been sandwiched between taking care of their children, taking care of aging parents. Maybe they lost income because of the pandemic. It shut down their ability to earn. Maybe they've been divorced. Maybe they've dealt with a family illness or their own personal illness. And hearing those stories of rising, of overcoming, of triumph, of victory, we all need a good story, right, Pastor Paulette?
Yeah, we do. Especially the times in which we're living in right now. People need encouragement. They need somebody to tell them, hey, you can make it. You can succeed. You can get out of your situation, and you could really change the narrative on how you see your life. And it's through these powerful stories that we're going to be able to do that.
Yes, yes. Pastor Paulette, I want to ask you one thing before we go. And I know you do the book tours. How does that work? And are the book tours only with the works that you've helped to develop and publish? Or do you help anyone who says, well, I've had this book, but I didn't do anything with it? Can you guide me in how I can launch it, kind of relaunch my book and take it on tour?
Yeah, so I have a business called Right Now Virtual Book Tours, in which I connect writers and authors' books with bloggers, and it's a great opportunity for authors to bring more life to their books, and also for them to get featured on different blogs, um, go through, and, write articles on different blogs and guest posts as well. So I connect with these bloggers, and they in turn want to invite authors to come on their blogs, because it creates for the blogger, it creates content for them. They don't have to worry about content being on a particular day, because they already know that this author is going to provide content for them. And so, with me being able to organize virtual book tours, I take you on a virtual book tour right from the comfort of your own home. You don't have to pack. You don't have to do anything but sit, right in the right there in front of your laptop, and click a link to your posts on these blogs, which is amazing. And so being able to get featured all over the internet, because these bloggers the internet is not just locally, it is all over the world, where you can be seen as an expert, sharing your book, your services, and who you are as a writer. And so a virtual book tour lasts either from 2 weeks all the way up to 2 months of exposure. And so the author, if you've written a most of my clients, once again, are nonfiction authors. So if you've written a book and you didn't really do any promotion with it, marketing, then check me out on my website, WNL Book Tours. I can definitely connect you with bloggers, and there's definitely a package and a program that is available for you that will just fit your budget and your time frame in which you want to promote your book.
And I love that. And when I was reading about you, I saw that as such a unique positioning. I haven't heard many people doing that. Yeah, you hear the book tours, but being able to resuscitate something that has been on the back burner, right?
Yeah.
Or even just helping to launch. And again, through like, this is all about, this is an element of collaboration. So through this collaborative relationship, now you become the strategic partner to an author that is introducing them to the world through the blogging networks. That's huge, ladies and gentlemen. Hello.
Yeah.
Listen to this. That is huge. I mean, the price of visibility done right can be a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
I have worked with these bloggers for years, and so I've developed a relationship with them, and they're excited about being able to promote authors, and they love doing this. And so when I present a book to these bloggers, they're excited about being able to extend their platform, because you're talking about visitors and readers coming to these blogs. There's hundreds of thousands of readers and visitors that visit these blogs every single day, and they really do want to be able to share their platform with authors. And so I'm just that conduit, I'm the bridge. And so those of you who have a book that really needs some more exposure to it, no matter how old your book is, you can put your book through a virtual book tour.
I love that. Well, Pastor Paulette, we are out of time. Thank you so much for being an amazing guest, a brilliant resource to our listening audience. To those of you that want to know a little bit more about collaborative books, please reach out to her. Her website is here below, pauletteharper.com. And if you want to know more about the book tours, you can go to WNLbooktours.com. Again, reach out, have the conversation, make the introduction. It's all about relationship building. And it doesn't hurt to have a conversation. I keep emphasizing that, folks. Again, leverage the power of your voice, the power of your pen, build those collaborative relationships, and have the impact and the reach that you ultimately want to have. And guess what? The income will follow. It really will. Well, Pastor Paulette, do you have any lasting words before we sign off?
I just want to say thank you once again, Lawana, for having me on your platform. This has been a great experience. I love being able to share with different audiences how I can serve them and really encourage people to, write their story. So thank you once again for giving me the opportunity to do just that.
Thank you so much, Pastor Paulette, and to our listening audience. Thank you for joining us again for another edition of Power of the Pen. And just remember that your voice matters. The world is waiting to lean in to hear what you have to say, because we know that you are a change agent. But you have to trust yourself, be authentic, be bold, grab the power of the pen, and just remember that in life and in business, when your vision intersects with opportunity, success is inevitable. Thank you again, Pastor Paulette. Goodbye, everyone.